All right. Okay. So what time is it? 10:40. So we still have a lot of time. So another way to determine the value of superposition is another way to determine the value of specific variables, voltage or current. So it is stated in the superposition principle that for a circuit having multiple independent sources, the voltage or the current through an element is equal to the algebraic sum of the voltage or currents due to each independent source acting one at a time. Okay? To apply superposition, we have to calculate the contribution of each independent source separately. Okay, so, saan na siya, no? So, of course, ato na siya i-compute. No? Two things to remember. Consider one independent source at a time while other independent sources are turned off. Okay, so when we turn off, no, this is important. So, one independent source at a time. And all of the other sources should be turned off. Okay? So, when you turn it off, the independent sources, again, ang nakalagay dito, independent sources. So, meaning, we cannot apply superposition principle in circuits involving dependent source. Could be. Well, let's check later. So, replace voltage source with a short circuit and current source with an open circuit. Okay? So, kung initially naakay source voltage dira, okay? So, naakay anak, some part of the circuit. So, when you turn this off, ang may tabo, mahimo na siyang open circuit. Okay? At, ano siya? With short circuit, short circuit. Okay? And for a current source, the current source will be replaced with an open circuit. Okay, so accordingly, pwede dahil gihapon na ay dependent sources. No, but the dependent sources should be left intact. Wa siya labot dito sa atong gina-turn on and turn off ng mga independent sources. No, why? Because they are controlled by circuit variables. Okay? Of course, if you have ano siya? Kaning R, no, diri, no? Kasi na R diri, no, this is not connected to this sa imong voltage source na kay R diri. And your dependent source is dependent on the voltage across this resistor. So if you remove the current source, then therefore here current is no longer passing through this resistor. So therefore, if current is not passing through this resistor, therefore the voltage across this resistor is equal to 0. Okay? So if there is some part in the circuit where that VO is used, no? So nakalagay dito is 3VO. Okay, so 3VO. Then therefore, essentially, the value of the voltage, the value of the ano ba nakalagay dito? Resistance, voltage controlled voltage source. Ay, yan dahil. So plus, minus. Okay, so essentially, the value of this dependent source should also be equal to 0 because current can no longer pass on this part of the circuit when you turn off the current source. Okay? Steps to apply superposition. Turn off all independent source except one source. Find the output voltage current using the active source. Repeat step 1 for each of the remaining independent sources and find the total contribution by adding algebraically all the contributions due to the independent sources. Example. Okay. Using superposition, find VO. Okay, so find VO. So we have two sources, one current source and one voltage source. It is said here that when we turn off the current source, we replace this with an open circuit, and we replace our voltage source a short circuit. Okay? All right. So turning off current source. Okay, so if you turn off the current source, then therefore this will now be replaced with an open circuit. So wala na siya green. Okay, so essentially what is left is just 3 resistors that are connected in series. Okay, the resistors that are connected in series. So what are you going to use? No, simple circuit naman ni siya. So ato siya gamitan og voltage division formula. So VO now is equal to 20 as the source, and then times 2, no, kaning voltage, kaning imong resistor dire, no, where VO is present, and then 2 plus 3 plus 5. Okay, the sum of the resistors connected in series. So this is equal to 40 divided by 5. Okay, and that is equal to 8 volts. Okay, 8 volts. So let's change colors no, para maano na to siya. Pen color, let's do blue. So when we turning off the voltage source, okay, so turning off voltage source, we replace this by a short circuit. Okay, so kung naka-short circuit siya, then therefore this sum of resistors here is connected in parallel with your 8 ampere source, and your 5 ampere is also connected in parallel with an 8 ampere source. So what we do is just voltage division formula, current division formula. No? So we don't have to compute the current anymore, no? Because we see that this is 5 amperes. The sum here is 5 ohms, and here we also have 5 ohms. So therefore, the current that will be flowing here is just the same with the current that is flowing on this 5 ohm resistor. Okay, so therefore, let's name that IO, no, the current here, equal to 4 amperes. So therefore, if IO is 4 amperes, then therefore VO is equal to 4 times 2, and that is equal to 8 volts. Okay? Right. The catch, no, yun kanina, all you have to do is to sum, okay? Sum up all of the voltages resulting from each of the independent sources acting alone. So therefore, let's name this VO2, okay? And this one VO1. So therefore, the total, if you solve for VO, that will be equal to V1 plus VO2, and that is equals to 8 plus 8, and VO is equals to 16 volts. Okay? But there's a catch, no? Walang i-explain dito nga kinahanglan, you have to know the direction of the, or the polarity, no, of the voltages, no, resulting from each of the independent sources acting alone. Okay? We all know here na kung ana ang ang configuration, no, when the current source is turned off, the current will flow, no, from 20 padung dito. So therefore, since current flows from higher to lower potential resistor, sakto atong direction sa atong IO. And therefore, our voltage here is equals to 8 volts. Okay? So when we turn off the 20 volt source, ang direction po sa itong current is padulong dito pa ana. Okay? And since that is the direction of the current source, then here, sa top pa, this is more positive than this here, no? Because gidictate mo na ang direction sa current, no? So, which is the same direction with that of when the current source is turned off or when 20 volt source is acting alone. So, therefore, pareha sila og polarity. So, ato na silang i-add. Okay? So, that is superposition formula. Kani siya. Let's say, ato siyang i-check, no? Kailangan ito i-check kung tama atong answer. Okay? So, gusto gamiton. This is, let's change colors para differentiate. Green. Okay? So, let's call this V1 and this is V2. Okay? So, kung node analysis itong gamiton, at node 2, V2 is just equals to 20 volts. At node 1, okay? So, gamit itong superposition. So, V1 is equals to, sama lang kaani. So, that is, ano yun? 1/5 plus 1/5. Okay? Minus 20 over 5. Okay? Current is entering. So, that is minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay? Times 5. So that is equal to V1 plus 1 minus 20 minus 5 times 8 is 40 is equal to 0. So V1 is equal to, this is 60 divided by 2, and that is equal to 30. So
Sir,
V1,
excuse me po, sir.
yes, ano?
Sa una-una doon na equation, sir.
May mali.
Tama ba yung 40 over 5 po, sir?
Ay, pwede yung answer niyo.
Kay 2 plus 3 plus 5 po, sir. Si Mary Grace lang.
Ay, sorry. This is 10, no? Yes, sorry. Now let's change the color. Thank you. So, sakto. So this should be 10. So this should be 4. No? And then, therefore, this should be 4. So therefore, our answer should be 12. Sakto? 12 volts.
Yes,
ato siya ma-check dili kung tama itong answer. That's why we're checking, no? So let's go back to green. Okay? So V1 is equals to 30 volts. So by voltage division, ato na siya i-voltage division diri, no? Okay, para makuha na to ang VO. So VO is equals to 30 times 2 divided by 5. So, okay? So this is 60 divided by 5. Pilang 60 divided by 5? Is it 12?
Yes, sir.
So this is 12 volts. Which is the same with this one. Okay? Claro? So it's nice that you're paying attention, no? So anyways, that's why we are checking, no? So that we will be able to determine whether mag-agree ang atong nodal analysis, no, na method with that of the superposition na theorem. Kinahanglan pareho sila og answer. Okay? Next. 10:55. So we still have 1 hour. Use superposition to determine Vx. So Vx here. Vx is here. So that is the voltage across the 4 ohm resistor. Now because this is just tawag ani kanang this is just one node. Okay? So sa to unahon 10 volt source. Okay? So turn off 10 volt. Okay? So if you turn off 10 volt, then therefore this will be represented by a short circuit, right? Or open circuit? Short circuit. Okay? So what do we do? Ito siya magamitan o kanang current division formula lang, no? Kaya naa naman siya diri. Because this also adds no to the values of the voltage and currents, no? Here, or it varies the voltage and the current because of its presence. So ito mahimo magamit yung taog either nodal analysis or mesh analysis. So Vx times 1/20 plus 1/4. Okay. Then current entering minus 2. Then this is also current entering. Then therefore, ayun, minus 0.1 Vx. Okay? No other voltage sources. Dala. And therefore, that is equals to 0. So times 20. So Vx 1 plus 5 minus 40 minus 2. Ito, 2 Vx is equal to 0. Okay? So this is 6Vx minus 2Vx is 4Vx. So this is only 4Vx equal to 40. So Vx is equal to 40 over 4, and that is equal to 10 volts. Okay, so lagyan natin siya Vx1. Okay? Change colors. Let's change this to red. So, for red, turn off 2 amperes source. Okay, so 2 amperes source. So when we turn it off, so we represent this as an open circuit. Okay, so apply nodal analysis. So Vx times 1/20 plus 1/4. Okay, minus, no? Natay voltage diri. So minus 10/20. Okay. Then current entering. So minus 0.1 Vx is equal to 0. Okay, now? So multiply by 20 again. So this is Vx times 1 plus 5 minus 10 minus 2 Vx is equal to 0. So 6Vx minus 2Vx is equals to 4Vx. Okay? 4Vx is equal to 10. So Vx is equals to 10 over 4. And this is equal to 5 halves volts. Okay? Fine. So take note that in both cases, no, we use Vx no as ano siya? Kanang using nodal analysis. So therefore, we can say na ang kaning atong diri is negative, no? This is more negative, and this is ano siya? Kanang at higher potential, no? So and wala nagbali, no? Ang wala nag negative ang ato ang mga values. So therefore, the same sila og polarity. Kung mag-negative nga atong values, meaning there is a change in the polarity for one of the Vx. So this is Vx2. So Vx total blue. So therefore, Vx is equal to Vx1 plus Vx2. So this is 10 plus 5 halves. This is equal to 12.5 volts. Okay, so let's use kanang ato ang nodal analysis no, without turning off all the sources. So nodal analysis, Vx times 1 over 20 plus 1 over 4 minus this adjusted voltage here, that is 10 over 20, and then Vx, saan na to? Ilain, no? So minus 2 minus 0.1 Vx is equals to 0. Both currents are entering the node. Times 20. So Vx is equals to 1 plus 5 minus 10 minus 40 minus 2Vx is equals to 0. So this is 6 minus 2Vx, so that is 4Vx. 4Vx is equals to 10 plus 40 is 50. So Vx is equals to 50 divided by 4. So is this equal to 12.5?
Yes, sir.
So that is equal to 12.5. Okay? Alright? So whatever is the solution for our sa itong superposition is the same answer that we arrived with using nodal analysis. And by the way, don't get confused, no? Anong mo gamit pang ito og superposition diri yan kan on this side mo gamit ta diri og kanang nodal analysis. So this is just to show that indeed superposition holds true, no? Tama ang pag-apply og superposition. Okay? Pakita ani mo nga tama ang superposition. In reality, but in problems, no, kung kanila ang gihatag nga problem and then solve for Vx, it would be easier no, to solve using nodal analysis. But in order for you to show that superposition is true for this circuit, then you have to go through these two solutions in order to arrive at the final answer, which is 12.5 volts.